Hello, this is the Silver Watchman, and welcome back to the Hopeless series. Now, what did we talk about in the previous episode? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was food. I just contradicted myself, but don't worry, humans are allowed to do that. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the conduct that you should have in walking with God and facing the enemy. You see, when you're facing against the enemy, it's highly encouraged that one should flee from evil. And do not let it overtake you. It's going to do everything in its power to do so. And as you can clearly see, especially like in games like this too, which is a great example, they're going to come endlessly. And in the meantime, since you're a being of light, serving God, because you have the Holy Spirit. I mean, you should have the Holy Spirit by now. But if you don't, it's really easy. All you gotta do is just ask God for the Holy Spirit, and then bam, you have the Holy Spirit. But you have to be earnest when you're asking. You see, like in this game, it's a beautiful example because of the fact that the enemy in a game just doesn't stop coming. It's an endless cycle. An endless cycle. So if you're not strong enough to resist temptation, then I highly suggest that you flee when it does come. Because the enemy will tempt you and tempt you. It's not a sin to be tempted, but it is a sin to give in. They will always try to bring you down, to break you, because the more humans they break, especially if it's a person of God, they get like a serious promotion. But with the help of God, you should be just fine. But do not be arrogant in their presence because of this. If you're arrogant, they'll use that against you. And it'll be your downfall. And God will allow it because God doesn't like arrogance. He'll allow it to humble you, but he won't let them destroy you. When you walk in confidence. But confidence is not the same thing as arrogance. Because when you're arrogant, you may hurt more people than you intend. But if you stand there confidently with compassion, love, and patience, not only will you keep the enemy back, but those that need to be saved will be saved through the power of God. The seeds will be planted, and then the watering process can begin. Also, don't be afraid to admit that you don't know things, that you don't have the answers. Because those that are looking for God, they will respect that more than if you blatantly pretend to know everything. It's okay to be afraid at times. Don't let that overtake you. Things that are evil, they're gonna be scary. But do not approach them with a heart of arrogance. That'll lead to your destruction. Sorry if I'm going quiet, I'm just focusing. But at some point or another, you're gonna have to flee from the enemy. Because of the simple fact of even somebody that's really, really strong in God. On you too. Now my trials are not your trials, and your trials are not my trials. A lot of my trials involve a lot of patience. I'm not the kind of person that likes to sit down and get antsy, and I just kind of want to fix everything. Should be somewhere in Genesis. Yes, it should be somewhere in Genesis. I'm not exactly sure when because that was a really long time ago. But because he was trusting in his own strength and his own knowledge and wisdom. That's kind of cool. No, not the fact that he relied on his own strength, but the fact that the game just kind of went upside down. Okay then. Yeah, because he relied on his own power and his own strength, he made a mistake.
Sharpshooter, who wants some?
He made a mistake, and
Victory.
we all kind of know how the story ends. But had he relied on God in the face of the enemy, then the outcome would have been very, very different. And even with me, I'm ashamed to admit this because it is something I do have to work on. But for the sake of you learning, I shall tell you. At times, you see, when you have too many victories, you will kind of get this air of arrogance around you. And just as these guys have realized that they can't remain where they are, that they have to keep on moving forward, fleeing from the enemy, trusting that where they're going is better than where they are, so do you. You have to trust that where you're going, where God is taking you, is better than where you are right now. Because God turns all things for our good. But that's only and only if you're a son or daughter of God. It's not going to be easy. No, not in the slightest. In fact, it's probably going to be the hardest thing that you will ever have to undertake. Because the enemy doesn't want you to be saved, doesn't want you to come to the light, doesn't want you to come to God. Because you come to God, and guess what? Then you don't belong to them anymore. But you belong to God. That's only if you come to God. So when facing against the enemy, trust not in your own strength, trust not in your own wisdom. Trust me. Just because you know a lot doesn't mean that you can account for their unpredictable nature. Because they're desperate for a win. They're desperate so they can take you. But don't worry. Trust in the Lord, and He will hold you. Seek after Him, and you'll find Him. So I say, glory be to God. Also, I've run out of time for this video. Thank you for watching, and thank you for learning some of the conduct that how you should be carrying yourself in the face of the enemy. I never went through who is the enemy. The enemy is Satan and this world, or the demon and those that are of evil. Walk with God and be merciful and kind to everyone, because you could bring another person to the light. This is truly an honor that I get to do this. I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful also to you guys that watch. This is a blessing. This is an honor. And I thank you all. This is a Silver Watchman, signing out.